The role of Aimsun is to work with Highways England and the other partners to simulate and model the impact of autonomous vehicles on the main highway network. That's the SRN, Strategic Road Network. And in doing so, attempt to assess what the effect of large-scale deployment of AVs may be on capacity and emissions. The role of Aimsun in the HumanDrive project is to work with Highways England and the other partners to simulate and model the large-scale impact of autonomous vehicles on the strategic road network, and thereby we hope to get some numbers on the effects that AVs may have on capacity and emissions. One of the things that's been the most enjoyable aspect to us is working with the other partners to gain a holistic view of autonomous vehicles, because typically in modelling projects you are very locked on to one specific aspect of the modelling or the impact. By dealing with the universities and the other industrial bodies, we've gained a much wider understanding of the impacts that these vehicles are likely to have and the necessary planning that actually goes around their implementation. Well, we're getting some very interesting results out about autonomous vehicles and the likely impacts they're going to have on the highway network, but there's still an awful lot of questions about how exactly this would work and the minute details of why these things are actually occurring. So although we're getting some very good top-level results in terms of percentage impacts and the changes that are likely to happen, we still need to look in a lot more detail in the coming year or so about exactly why this is, and just make sure there's no hidden impacts that we're actually missing. That way we gain a far more complete understanding of the whole system and actually what's going on right down to the minute level. Well, it certainly seems that the effect that it will actually have on capacity, for example, is actually quite variable, and it's quite a subtle thing. And the results that you're going to get really depend on how the vehicle is actually programmed to behave. Because at present, there are some aspects of driver behaviour which aren't really that good, but equally there are some things which humans do quite well. Now, if we change those one way or the other to make things more cautious, less cautious, there's going to be knock-on effects that could improve or maybe make some things actually worse. The full-scale deployment, where maybe every second vehicle is an autonomous vehicle, is a very, very long way off, not only because of the sheer production problems that that's going to entail, but also because of the problems that we have to solve on the way there. And that involves not only vehicle manufacturers making the right type of vehicle to act in the right way, but also actually getting our highways ready for their arrival. We've actually got to start building vehicles that behave like real human drivers, and that's something we're trying to do in this project. And that's going to take quite a while to get them to match up to what humans do, but be better than humans. But on top of that, we've also got to plan out for the highways network to ensure that it's actually ready for the way the vehicles are going to interact with the public, and the geometry is correct and all the design factors are correct. What we've been attempting to do is examine the impact of autonomous vehicles on the strategic road network. Now that involves looking at motorway operation and A-road operation as well. Now there's two novel aspects to this. So the first aspect of this is that we've attempted to put together a description of an autonomous vehicle that is exceedingly accurate in terms of what is actually out there. Because it's very easy to put together a very hand-wavy description of how these vehicles are likely to behave, but you really need to get down into the operational details to tease out the exact details of what they'll do and how they interact with traffic. Now, the second thing that we've also been looking at is trying to implement these investigations on major road networks. So we're not just looking at a 5-mile stretch of road or a simple junction here, we're actually looking at real roads, something like 20 miles, 10 operational junctions. So we're going to be examining how these things would really act if they were on the UK roads. What we're finding with our results so far is that we're actually ahead of several countries in terms of the research that they're undertaking. Now, there's several research projects that we're involved in the US and in Europe, one of which is the Sea Roads Initiative run by the European Union. And we're finding that what we're doing is dovetailing quite well with work that our colleagues in Spain are doing on the aspects of autonomous vehicles, particularly related to connected vehicles. So really we're approaching the question from two different ends, but it is interesting to see how these aspects are converging across the globe.